As I begin this painting, I'm working under artificial light, which casts dark shifting shadows of my hand and palette knife onto the canvas. The shadows on the canvas are not just incidental. They interact with the composition, reflecting the eerie, suspenseful narrative of the story I'm depicting. The first colors I've chosen, ochre, green, brown, ultramarine, indigo, and black, are roughly applied to establish the mood of the scene. The contrast between light and dark echo the tension that pervades the scene I am about to unfold. It was a cold, damp evening in London, 1888. The gas lamps flickered weakly, casting long, eerie shadows across the cobblestone streets of Whitechapel. The thick fog crept in like a predator, wrapping itself around the legs of passers-by, making every step feel like a venture into the unknown. The air was heavy with the smell of soot, wet stone, and something else. A lingering sense of dread that gripped the city in fear for weeks. As night fell, the narrow alleyways of Whitechapel grew even darker. The bustling streets emptied out, with only a few unfortunate souls scurrying home. Whispers spread through the city like wildfire, each tale more terrifying than the last. Jack the Ripper, they called him. A name that sent shivers down the spine of every Londoner. The story of Mary Jane Kelly, the Ripper's final known victim, haunted the city. She was found on a night like this, in a small room just off Miller's Court, victim of a monster blending into the shadows, evading capture with almost supernatural ease. The streets are quiet tonight. Jack knows these streets are his hunting ground. A labyrinth of alleyways and dead-end streets that offer perfect cover for his dark deeds. As I paint this dimly lit London street, the story of Jack the Ripper casts its long shadow over the canvas. The warm yellows and oranges I'm using in the foreground represent the weak gaslight struggling against the oppressive night. It's a colour of false warmth, almost inviting, but in context of this scene, it carries with it a sense of foreboding. As we move further into the composition, the shadows deepen, swallowing up the warmth and pulling us into the darkness. The shadows I'm creating represent the unknown that lurks just beyond the edges of perception, where the sky meets the tops of the buildings. Here I've used deep, cool blues to express the impenetrable night. The coolness contrasts with the warm foreground, creating a visual tension that mirrors the tension in Whitechapel during these terrifying times. The cool blues seep into the buildings, making them part of the sinister narrative. About now, you might catch a glimpse of a shadow moving out of the fog into the light. The sinister figure emerges from the shadows, eyes glinting coldly under the brim of a black hat, scanning the narrow street, until they land on a woman walking alone. It's Mary Jane Kelly, wearing a simple black dress. She's no stranger to the streets. But tonight, something feels off. He watches her closely. But Mary doesn't notice him. Mary Jane Kelly is widely considered the final victim of Jack the Ripper. However, the question of whether she was truly his last victim remains a subject of debate among historians and ripperologists.